Hello everyone, how you guys doing? On today's video, I'm going to talk about why South Africa is the richest country in Africa. South Africa currently have the largest economy in Africa from every data you can think of. I know Nigerians will be skeptical about this, but it's a fact. Yes, there was a time Nigeria economy was ranked #1 in Africa. Those days are gone. South Africa have retaken to #1 spot and is solid. One, while South Africa have internal economic issues, because sometimes in certain countries, even in America, it happens in America, the economic outlook, even if it's good, is only hovers around on top. So people on the bottom don't really feel it. That's why when I talk about countries that are doing well, I also mention the fact that the country have to have a safety net to make people at the bottom to feel the economic impact. Now, globally, many countries, even advanced countries, are going through high inflation. Inflation in South Africa is still a little high, but regardless, in whole of African continent, South Africa is #1. I'll tell you the reason why South African economy is the #1 and why it probably will be so for a very long time. One, in terms of doing business in South Africa, right, it's already developed. The infrastructure is already developed. If you're a foreigner, you're coming from Germany or UK or China, once you step foot in South Africa, you register your business, go through the licensing and all that stuff, boom, you go. But in a country like Nigeria, bureaucracy, red tapes, bribery, let's be honest, you have to go through all that. Then before you know it, you're exhausted. Your creativity, you lost appetite of what you want to do. That's why in my previous video, I told you guys, sometimes a country, a business want to set up foot in Africa. Let's say they want to do business in Ghana. Ghana is their target. They want to set up office in South Africa. Or let's say their goal is to target Nigerian market. They want to set up office in South Africa. And then get some licenses in Nigeria and operate in Nigeria. Which is crazy. But that's to show you the influence South Africa have in the continent. That influence also helps South Africa. Now, in the service sector jobs in South Africa is more developed than any country in Africa. When I mean service job, I mean telemarketing, call service, if you're running an international organization that want to step foot in African continent, the service sector job is there for you, to capitalize on, because they are well-trained South African graduates that are very good in doing service-related jobs for international companies. That is where South Africa is leveraging. And the biggest of them all is South African economy is diverse. Yes, they have diamond, they have gold, right? They have other mineral resources, but it's all spread out. Unlike Nigeria, you can't say that there is one sector that gives South Africa economy outrightly. Till 2025, I'll continue to mention Nigeria because I know some of Nigerians, some of them will come on the comment sections and say, "Oh, what you talking about? Oh, you Nigeria, why you keep saying that Nigeria is not, why you say South Africa is..." This is not about Nigeria versus South Africa. The fact is a fact. Nigeria comes third or fourth now that have biggest economy in Africa. South Africa is solidly at #1, almost half $1 trillion economy. One, economic of South Africa is very diverse. It comes from service sector, it comes from natural resources, it comes from business. Infrastructural business environment in South Africa is very robust. Their infrastructure is good. You can ship item from here to South Africa, clear it in the custom, put it on a freight train, move it to your location. But in Nigeria, you gotta drag. That is hurting economy. And also when I explain to you guys what South Africa is the biggest economy, then I have to mention Nigeria, because it's always Nigerians that always try to say, oh, it's not true. One, Nigeria, 70% of Nigeria economy comes from oil. some people say 80%. Nigeria use oil money to service budget, service debt, pay people. It haven't been diverse. So South Africa, there is no their economic output and is strong because it's diverse. You understand? And that diversity makes it possible that if this place is not doing well, this one is doing well. If this place is doing well, government will push this place and you do more better, and then help this one that is struggling. But Nigeria oil sector is what generates majority of Nigerian budget. You understand? And states don't have power. Everything is federalistic. All those things factors the way Nigeria economy is today. The entertainment sector is not being pushed properly. Most entertainers use their own money to fund their entertainment businesses, whether it's movies, whether it's in music, whether it's theater. Banks in Nigeria doesn't give out money. They are very conservative in taking risk, investing in talent that can grow economy. Unlike South Africa, South Africa give out money to businesses, to people that can actually do the job and grow South African economy. And as I said this, I'm not trying to say that South Africa doesn't have issues. They have issues. But on paper, South Africa is still #1 country, and all these things are listed is the reason why. Now, so people say, oh, the current president of South Africa, you know, is not doing well. Whether he's doing well or not, South African economy and political environment is so robust that the country can function without Ramaphosa. It might sound crazy, but yeah, but you can't say the same thing about Nigeria, you know. So or United States can function without Donald Trump. So South Africa is leaning to that side. So if you come to the comment section and try to dispute this, I'll just tell you to go do your own research and come back to me. South Africa is undisputed #1 country in Africa when it comes to economy, the largest economy in Africa, service sector, diverse economy, developed business infrastructure, and infrastructure in general. As I said, in a whole of Africa, South Africa developed their infrastructure early. Have you seen South African roads? I'm gonna make a video about that later. So yes, all these things that I listed is the reason why South Africa is the largest economy in Africa. Having said that, I'm not trying to say that everything is off, but it is better. It works. It's not perfect, but it works. So yeah, if you watch up to this point, if you want anything, if you want to add anything to the video that I just posted, share your thoughts in the comment section and let's have a healthy conversation. And I mean what I said, and I'm doing it factually. Thank you for the new subscribers and people that are still subscribing. I appreciate you all. See you guys on the next one.